let's deal with the mental, emotional, and spiritual consequences of fear, because fear does have mental, emotional, and spiritual consequences. Now, it's got physical and financial ones too, but you know as well as I do, if you followed my work, that really eradicating fear should first start with the mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of the term. Because the reality is, you don't have to worry about physical and financial aspects of fear if you nip this in the bud mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. All right. So let's start there because I think that's more appropriate. Now, let's talk about some mental consequences. I want you to make a list. All right. I'm going to give you a couple of mental consequences. This is just data that I pulled from work that I've done in this space, some personal journaling as well. There are a couple of mental consequences of fear. Number one, indecisiveness. Let's interchange the word consequences with symptoms. All right, so let's talk about mental consequences slash symptoms. So when we think about fear symptoms and how they show up mentally, I'm going to give you some consequences slash symptoms. Look at this from a mental standpoint. Indecisiveness. I'm telling you now, if you struggle with indecisiveness, at the core of indecisiveness is fear. Why? Because when you are afraid to make a decision, cannot make a decision, refuse to choose a decision, at the core of that is this fear. I might get it wrong. I might mess something up. I might not be able to make things right. I might not be able to recover if I get this wrong. I might not choose the right thing. I might choose the wrong thing. Whatever. The core of that indecisiveness is fear. So many of you don't think fear is an issue, but if you're a very indecisive person, I'm telling you, at the core of your indecisiveness is fear. And you're going to know you are outrunning that indecisiveness when you can make decisions irregardless of the perceived or the perception of getting it wrong or the perception of it might not turn out right. Another mental consequence of fear. Y'all ready? I'm coming out swinging at y'all tonight. Overthinking. Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
Overthinkers at their core are scary people. Overthinkers at their core are scary people. YouTube, y'all there? I don't see no comments. Y'all there? Facebook, YouTube? It's quiet over there. Y'all all right? At your core, overthinkers are scary people. Show me an overthinker, and I'll show you somebody who literally lives their life at their core of being fear, which means, look at this, y'all. Indecisiveness, overthinking, those types of mental consequences are typically associated with what attachment style? Anxious. So, if overthinking and indecisiveness is naturally attached to the anxious attachment style, then that would mean people who are anxiously attached typically live their lives in what? Fear. So then, if you typically live your life in fear and it is connected to your anxious attachment style, what's one way to heal your anxious attachment style? To work on this spirit called fear. You talking about childhood stuff, that's important. You talking about all these wounds, that's important too. But one of the reasons why I am doing the next book that I'm doing in 2026 is because people need to learn in a very practical way how to eradicate these attachment styles and how to correct them. And at the core of most of your attachment styles is fear. Most of them besides secure. Fear. Even at the core of being an avoidant, at the core of that is fear. However, the manifestation of it isn't overthinking and indecisiveness. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Okay? Let me give you another mental consequence. Y'all follow me? Is this making sense? Y'all share the video. Again, you got to help me out on Instagram and TikTok because, you know, they're not sharing my stuff. Another consequence, mental consequence of fear, rumination. Rumination. Ruminating thoughts are thoughts that continue forward with or without your permission. Y'all know I give these, that's a custom definition. Not going to find that in the dictionary. I take the very complicated psychological definitions of these terms and give you things in ways that you can digest. Rumination or ruminating thoughts are thoughts that continue forward with or without your permission. It is a reflection of a person. A person who has rumination or deals with rumination is a person who has thoughts that are literally beyond their control. If you are a person who literally struggles with ruminating thoughts, and you allow your thoughts to cycle forward with or without your permission, and you do not possess the ability to stop them, slow them down, or even the desire to do so, at the core of this, ruminating thoughts are really the manifestation of underlying fear. Another consequence, mental consequence of fear. This is a good one. Attachment to the worst possible outcomes. One of the outcomes or consequences of fear that is really overlooked is how people will attach themselves to the worst possible outcomes. I want to substitute a word for this, and it's called pessimism. You know what I've discovered? Very pessimistic people, people who are always attached to the worst possible outcomes or the most negative outcomes, are typically people at their core who are functioning in fear. This is why you got to be careful with people who are always sarcastic. Let me put y'all on game.
Oh my God.
There's nothing wrong with being sarcastic every now and then. But have you ever met a person who is always sarcastic? They are never serious. They never take things serious. They never take conversation serious. They never take serious conversation serious. They are always clowning. They literally never turn the clown meter off. Let me tell you what I've discovered about people like that. At the core of that pessimistic, sarcastic behavior is fear. A lot of people have used sarcasm and pessimism as a way of ignoring reality. Don't y'all take this extreme. This doesn't mean you can't be a comedian sometimes. It doesn't mean you can't be those things. But it does suggest that when you are always these things, at the core of that, pessimism, sarcasm can become defense mechanisms for you not to address the real issues in your life. I don't trust nobody that's sarcastic all the time.
Oh my God.
If you always sarcastic, I don't trust you. Because at your core, you are likely fearful of something. And you will see how uncomfortable that is if you are ever connected to someone as a friend. Lord knows if you're ever connected to someone like that in a relationship, they can never be serious. Everything is a joke. A lot of times, the core of that is really fear. Because those same people that tend to be not maybe necessarily on the pessimistic side, but maybe so on the sarcasm. Well, I can't necessarily say that. It could be either or. A lot of times, those people, the manifestation of that really does yield avoidant behavior, right? Joking about something you should be addressing as serious is another way of avoiding a serious matter. So you might see a person use pessimism and sarcasm as a way of avoiding issues that require a serious nature. You got to be careful with people like that. To everything, there's a time and a season. And that includes your pessimism and sarcasm. Okay? Was that helpful? Let's talk about some emotional consequences of fear. Y'all writing? Journal should be on fire tonight. Support the show. Ways to support are on the screen. Let's talk about some emotional consequences of fear. This is a big one. Number one, insecurity. I had to put it at the top of the list. Y'all, insecurity is nothing but fear. When you show up insecure in any space, any relationship, any connection, in any way, you show up insecure as a parent, you show up insecure as a partner, you show up insecure as an employee, it don't matter. Your insecurity is always rooted in fear. Definition of insecurity. Let me give you, hey, y'all like the video, share the video. Let's get these Instagram, especially on Instagram. Hey, hit that little kite button if you're on Instagram, and I need you to share it. Share it to your feed right now. Everybody do it. Let's get these numbers up tonight. You want an easy definition of insecurity? It's a salad-worthy one. I need y'all to support the show. Insecurity is worry over the fear of acceptance. Insecurity is nothing more but worry over the fear of acceptance. Easiest way you can define or use or give a definition of the word insecurity. Doc, whomever, what does it mean to be insecure? It means when you worry over the fear of being accepted. That's all it is. So when a person is insecure over their looks, they're worried or they have a fear that their looks won't be accepted. When a person is insecure in a relationship, they're worried that they're not going to be accepted by their partner or that somebody else might gain acceptance with their partner. That's all insecurity is. Insecurity is worry over the fear of being accepted. At the core of insecurity is fear. Another emotional consequence, emotional shutdown and crash outs. Another emotional consequence of fear, emotional shutdowns or shutdowns and crash outs. Let me say this to y'all. Just about to get ugly. You know how messed up our culture is? Some of y'all literally walk around praising the idea that you're about to crash out.
Oh my God.
Ain't nothing cute about threatening to crash out and thinking it's cute. I'm about to crash out. I'm about to crash out. I was in a store somewhere. I had to hurry up and get out of there so I didn't get shot up. I was in a store somewhere and a lady got upset at something that the cashier said. Cashier told her she couldn't do a exchange or something. And the lady was in there and got upset and said, oh my God, I'm about to crash out in here. I'm about to crash out. And I just took the little clothes that I had and put them on the rack. And I turned around and walked out.
Oh my God.
Y'all really praise that foolishness like it's something. People who are quick to crash out or shut down are people who are dealing with the emotional consequences of fear. They're dealing with the emotional consequences of fear. And let me tell you, I'm just going to put this out there. The attachment styles that tend to shut down are typically avoided. The attachment style that tends to shut down as a result of the emotional consequence of fear, typically avoidance. Guess who the crash outs tend to be? What, Doc? I just care, Doc. It's just my anxiety, Doc. I don't mean no harm, Doc. It's just, no, let me get my list right. I don't mean no harm, Doc. It's just my anxiety, Doc. I really can't. Let me tell you something. Anxious people are natural crash out artists.
Oh my God.
Because a crash out is nothing more than a complete meltdown of emotional control. There's another definition for you. That's salad worthy. Y'all don't support the show tonight if you don't want to, and I got my voice back. And I did it halfway last week without a voice.
Oh my God.
A crash out is an emotional a complete breakdown of emotional control. A complete breakdown of emotional control. That's all a crash out is. So when y'all out here praising people about to crash out, what you saying is, yeah, girl, go ahead and break down your emotions. Go ahead and lose your emotional control. Thank you, Camille, for the support. Yeah, bro, go ahead and lose your emotional control, bro. Go for it. Thank you, Miss Barbara. Appreciate you. Ain't nothing cool about that. A crash out is nothing more than a complete breakdown of emotional control. And we made this a sexy thing. I'm about to crash out. I'm about to crash. Oh my God, I'm about to crash out. I'm about to crash out. Baby, if you don't sit down over there in the corner somewhere and take you some melatonin and some magnesium and calm down.
Oh my God.
Y'all want another emotional consequence? Kind of sort of talked about this. Anxiety and panic. Another emotional consequence of fear, anxiety and panic. Anxiousness and always being on edge. And this is for all of you that are so concerned about what's about to happen. I want you to put that in parentheses next to the writing that down. This one is especially for those of you that's always walking around worrying about what's about to happen. If that's you, you're going to always be in that space of anxiety and panic. Worrying about what will be, what might be, rather, what might happen, instead of dwelling on what is. And a lot of this, frankly, is a byproduct of your people pleasing. And it's also a byproduct of being a control freak. Because when you are a control freak, you're really concerned about what's going to be. In fact, you're so concerned about what's going to be that you absolutely end up focusing more on what might be instead of what is. And when you're in that space, you're hard to deal with.
Oh my God.
You are hard to consume and digest when you are always functioning in the space of what might be. The safest way to combat that is to focus in the present. Focus in the present. Focus in the present. Learn how to pause. Some of y'all acting like some of y'all gonna use it as an example. With Doc, my parents didn't teach me how to do this. Wait. That could be true for some of you. But even if you didn't go to school at a time where they were giving out spankings, most of you went to school and on the elementary level, if you was crashing out or having an emotional breakdown, what they do, make you stand up in the corner and count to 1,000. What you think they were teaching you to do? They probably didn't even understand the psychology behind it. They just want you to chill out. But you standing in the corner, counting to 1,000, or having to stand there by yourself was a way of getting you to use pausing as a means of calming your emotions down. And meanwhile, y'all be crashing out, and instead of you calming down, you go harder. you, you go harder. Y'all. The client this week, great guy. He said I could share this. Great guy. He's young, like 22, 23. Great guy. And we're working on his self-control and learning how to use self-control learning how to pause so that he can regulate his emotions in a better way. But, but what tripped me out about the conversation, and I haven't been able to stop laughing. I'm so something's wrong with me. Well, I haven't been able to stop laughing because he got on the call and was like, I'm gonna try to mock him a little bit. He said I could do this, y'all. He's probably watching. He got on the call, was like, yo, Doc, what's up? I was like, what's up, man? It's like, yeah, man, oh my God, man. Such a pleasure to meet you, man. Yeah, man, it's nice meeting you, man. What's your name? He told me, I said, that's what's up. I said, it's a pleasure to meet you too. He said, yeah, man. You know, I'm here to heal, man. I'm on some healing type S. I said, what? he said, he said, I'm on some healing type S. I said, okay. It's like, yeah, man, you know, I had my heart broke, man, last year. Man, that girl, man, she broke my heart type S. I said, what? Said he said, yeah, man, she broke my heart type. I was on some heartbreak type S. I said, okay. I was still kind of confused. then he,
Oh my God.
then he was like, man, and one day, man, he said, man, it was about 6 months ago. I was on, I was on that TikTok type S. And I was just listening. I didn't even, yeah, he tried. I love him too, by the way. This ain't clown. For all of y'all, don't y'all get sent. I know you not, Mr. Robinson. But there's always, I saw your comment and made me think about it. Y'all, don't y'all get sensitive. You already know if you easily offended, this ain't the lie for you. That's why I ain't mainstream yet. I'll offend a lot of people and not blink an eye. Okay, so don't y'all get offensive. He's cool. He's let me share it. Because Lord knows once we got through it and I understood it, oh, I clowned him for the next 10 minutes. Hard. He was in tears crying. Doc is low-key a comedian. So, right, he all good with it. But he was just like, yeah, man, I was on some heartbreak type S. And I never, he said, man, I was on TikTok, some TikTok type S. And man, I saw this dude with this beanie on. I was like, man, this dude, man, he really spitting game type S. And finally, I was just like, okay, hey, sir, listen, I got a question. He was like, what's up, Doc? I said, can you explain to me what type S mean? He said, well, I don't really. He said, this is what he said. He said, I don't really understand what it means. He said, but I know that when I say it, it kind of calms me down. I said, oh, so anything that stresses you, because I'm a nerd, right? Stop, Mr. Robinson. He said, my God, TikTok said, how many different types of S do you have? I said, so I said, let me get this straight. Yeah, I told you my voice is at 95%. You might get this every now and then. I said, so let me get this straight. When you say type S, it is to soothe your anxiety about something that stressed you out. He was like, yeah. Saying type S helps him emotionally feel better about something that once stressed him. And so I went back through the list, and sure enough, breakup, hard time, TikTok can be stressful, heartbreak, stress. everything he named, he put type S behind it. But it was a mechanism, y'all, to calm him down. And that was the door that helped me to open up to him. And we had this great conversation about fear, anxiety, and panic. Great young man. He ain't but 20, like 22. He's gonna be fine. He start first person in his family to ever consider therapy, counseling, coaching, that kind of thing. But it became a way by which he could process his fears, his negative emotions regarding anything that gave him difficulty. Type S. And when I tell you, he explained that, and I took the next 10 minutes. It was like, yeah, man, it's great to meet you, type S. Man, we ain't got but 5 more minutes in this session, type S. Doc starving, ain't had nothing to eat all day, type S. I'm serious. It was a time. It was a time. Doc, he was like, bro. He said, Doc, bro. He called me bro by this point. Bro, I ain't know you was funny like that. Don't judge a book by its cover. I told y'all. And I want to announce this out loud. Let me just say this publicly. It is my goal in 2026 to do a stand-up comedy. Stop. I don't know what city I'm gonna do it. It's probably gonna be in one of my favorite cities, either DC or Atlanta. I don't know if I'm gonna do that in New Orleans. DC, Atlanta, maybe LA. I might do LA. And I'm gonna do a 2-hour comedy thing. One of my dreams is to do stand-up comedy. Now, it's gonna be ticketed. No cell phones will be allowed. You will have to check your cell phones at the door. It's going to be heavy security. And there's only one rule. You cannot judge me because it's going to be my therapy. I'm playing with some names. I don't want to put it out there because people be stealing in this space all the time. I get stolen from weekly. But I'm telling y'all, I need y'all to come, and it's going to be like somebody said, oh, the Bay is so unserious. Yeah, I need an unserious place. Somebody said the Bay in Oakland. That's an interesting suggestion. I'm not gonna forget that, Patricia. I'm serious. It's gonna be, I'm not doing no more than 200 people. That's it. But I'm telling you, y'all can't judge me after this. It's gonna be must-see TV. And type S gonna be in my skit. I can't. All right. Let me get back to what I was doing. That was funny. Another emotional consequence. Y'all ready? Another emotional consequence, people pleasing. People pleasing. No judgment type. No cell phone type S. No judgment type S. That's it's gonna be all of that. It's gonna be great. It's going to be great. And I might bring a puppet. It's gonna be crazy. Think Dave Chappelle without the cigarette. It's gonna be, it's going to be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I'm serious. Y'all think I'm playing? I am so serious. All right. People pleasing is another emotional consequence of fear. It's another emotional consequence of fear. We talked about that a little bit. We talked about indecisive people, overthinkers, things like that. But let me talk about a fifth one right here. Let me go and make some of y'all upset. You want to know another emotional consequence that's grounded in fear? Nonchalant behavior. Uh-oh. Let me go and piss y'all off now. I done made you laugh. Let me piss you off. Hey, Somebody said Dave Chappelle is coming here. High type S tickets. Nonchalant behavior is grounded in fear. And I know all y'all listening to these dating experts is telling you, be nonchalant, act like you don't care. That's going to make them draw closer. Act like you don't care. That's going to make her come. Not me. There ain't nothing attractive to a secure person about being nonchalant. Nothing. And I want to say to all of you that's tuned in live or that's watching the replay, and you single and you nonchalant, that's probably one of the top 3 reasons why.
Oh my God.
Don't nobody but somebody who is anxious, avoidant, or toxic want anybody that's nonchalant. I said it. You ain't gonna like it. I meant what I said. Because the day acting like you don't care became a thing is the day that dating and engaging others became toxic. Acting like you don't care is the very day that dating and engaging with each other became toxic. And some of y'all like that. Yeah, Doc. I like a man that, this sometimes he act like he don't care, Doc. I act like he act like he don't care. And that just really make me want him more. Well, good luck with that, sis. Good luck with that, Martha. I'm telling you right now, a secure woman has no interest in nonchalant behavior, and a secure man has no interest in nonchalant behavior. And I'm telling you right now, thank you, Tammany, for your support. I'm telling you right now, if nonchalant behavior turns you on, there's something seriously wrong with you. There is something seriously wrong with you if somebody acting like they don't care actually turns you on. Either that or you 19.
Oh my God.
Because some of this stuff is young. Some of this stuff is just pure, young, immature, dumb, immature behavior. You know what makes that even more of a gag? When you 50 walking around acting nonchalant. Hey, bro. Hey, sis, you 50. Ain't nothing on you of a matter that it don't care.
Oh my God.
Maybe your legs didn't care at 19. At 50, they care.
Oh my God.
Maybe your stomach didn't care at 19, so you could eat whatever you wanted to. At 50, they care.
Oh my God.
So I'm telling you, if anybody over 23 that's nonchalant, Mr. Robinson, high school type.
Oh my God.
Bro, you gotta stop, man. I'm trying to concentrate. Anybody over 23 acting nonchalant, you on some high school type S. And y'all fall for it. I'm talking to men and women. Thank you, Charlie, for your support. Listen, y'all, I hope this made sense. If it did, I want you to type church in the comments with 3 R's. And then I want you to remember you've got 2 jobs. 1, be better today than what you were yesterday. And 2, don't forget what I told you.